Good evening, everyone. We're continuing with 3 minutes of Tehillim. We're up to Perek Psalm 88. So in this Perek, we have a number of psukim that refer to phrases that we've had in the past in Tehillim, which we may be familiar with. In psukim Dal through Vav, David HaMelech says, Ki sa'ava v'ra'os nafshi. I'm totally overwhelmed, satiated with misfortune in my soul. V'chaya l'shaol he go, and I'm at the brink of Shaol. We've had Shaol before. We'll talk about that in a second. And then the next pasuk, Nechshavti im yordei vor. I am counted with those who go down into the bore. What are these phrases? We've encountered them before. We had in Perek Chav Ches, where he says, I'm with the yordei bor, I'm in the people who fall into the pit, into the abyss. And then also in Perek Lamed, more well known, Hashem, God take me up, or you brought me up out of the Shaol, and you gave me life. Chisani mi yordei bor. Give me life from the, what are these, yordei bor? What do these phrases mean? So we saw in the past, and the Farshim explained that this David HaMelech is expressing something which is a universal feeling that sometimes we feel, maybe especially with the weather right now. It's a gloomy feeling. It's a certain feeling of I don't feel myself getting out of anything. I feel sort of just weighed down and broken and feeling that I'm going over the abyss. So first of all, some people need mental health professionals. That's a real thing. The people feel depression, and it could be a mental imbalance. But from a religious perspective, how do we counter that sense of feeling totally overwhelmed with gloom, with feeling of indifference, and how can I get out of this? I'm falling down into the abyss. How do we free ourselves from that? So the next pasuk actually says something very interesting. David HaMelech refers to those who are dead, which is something we think about when we feel very alone and depressed and broken. The Meisim Chavshi. He calls the Meisim Chavshi, free. And the Gemara in Shabbos says that, what does it mean they're free? They're free from mitzvos. They don't have any mitzvahs any longer. So that could sound to some people that's great. That sounds really exciting. Well, actually, the truth is you could be free from anything, because once you're gone, there's nothing left to do. There's nothing left to accomplish. There's nothing that's binding. There's nothing that's obligatory any longer. And I think that this reminds us that when we have things that we know we have to do, that we're needed, and that we're essential, that's actually a way to reinstill hope. And that's the word that we need to focus on when we're feeling this sense of being part of the yordei bor, falling down into the abyss, is to reinstill in ourselves, or sometimes it needs to be reinstilled in someone else, a sense of hope, a sense of that there could be a future. How do we feel that sense of future? When we know that we're needed, when we know that there's a mitzvah, there's a commandment, there's something that I need to do that no one else can do. If I feel that I'm needed, that I can make a difference, then that's actually the greatest way to emerge out of and be able to transcend our feeling of what he calls Shaol, or the yordei bor, falling down into the abyss. And although he calls the Meisim Chavshi, the Meisim who are free, that's a certain freedom which we don't want. The freedom that we do want is the freedom to make a difference, which we do have every single day. Let's use the time that we have here and make it count.